to you live. I told y'all that I was coming back, and I'm back. Greetings, this is MaSunGoddess777, and I am not going to be up here very long. And this is going to be a conversation about something that I saw it, but it's been on my mind, but the conversation has come up because it's talking about the comedian. Something that he stated that's getting backlash now is very controversial. They calling him a pedophile, and that's Corey Holcomb. That's what I'm up here talking about. That I don't know. I might go into some other stuff, but I'm gonna talk about why they are calling him, and I'm just gonna give my view on what he said about the backlash that Corey Holcomb is receiving over comments he made recently. And I looked at his show when he was saying what he said about the teenagers or whatever, the teenagers talking about Corey. This is MaSunGoddess777. So I want to just talk about Corey Holcomb's recent statements a few days ago. I don't know if this is the one where he got into it with Darlene, but I know I heard his comments about what he was saying about the healthiest babies being by a 16 or year old or a 19-year-old, and he was making, I think it was some comment about the babies are like healthier when they're born by younger fetuses like that, women with wombs that's that age group. Well, I had upon my research, it had bothered me when I went back in not just my history of women, the matriarch in my family, going back to the early 1900s, just looking at the census, me researching, this is about the controversial thing that Corey Holcomb said a few days ago about the most healthiest wombs being women that's like 16 to 19. He made a statement, and now he's receiving backlash for being a pedophile. Corey Holcomb has said that the most healthiest babies are born to women or, teenagers that are like 16 years or 16 to 19 years old. He was saying like that age group have the most healthiest babies and everything. So I heard it because I do watch that show from time to time. I mean, I just wanted to see. I mainly was watching to see what happened between him and Darlene. Because him and Darlene, they fall out all the time. But this time he made a song. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but I'm sure Corey has. Because we know Corey can be, has it been enough seconds yet? Yeah, it's been enough seconds up here where I can talk a little, I can curse a little bit. Yeah, hi. How you doing, Peter Chief? What's going on? Where you at? What city are you in? What country are you in? Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a part of the live. I'm talking about the comedian. I'm talking about probably some other stuff too. I'm talking about the comedian Corey Holcomb and how he is receiving backlash about a comment that he said about the most healthiest wombs being women from ages 16 to 19 when it comes to having a baby. So they're calling him a pedophile over here. I got to say that. But it's the pedophile. So you know what I'm trying to say. Like the Epstein files, the pedophile. So they're giving him shit because he is saying that the most healthiest wombs are the women from the ages of 16 to 19. But what I want to say is, I don't know why he's receiving so much backlash when, honestly, those are the women that was married off. Like, and when I look at my family, looking at the matriarch, the women, they were my grandmother's. This is normal. My grandmother's mother was married at the age of 16. So I don't know why everybody is trying to pretend like they don't fuck with kids. Like, why are they pretending like they don't want the freshest thing straight out of the oven? Like, everybody's like putting on this front like he's a horrible person, but as we see in this country, the people that are on those files are the elites and the people with the, the money, billions of dollars, the nepo babies and all that. It's everybody's up there. All the celebrities. It's not just the Republicans or the Democrats. It's a lot of those people are up there. That's considered the elite. So it's normal for these people to mess with children. Like, it's and they try to act like it's other countries, like it's other third world. No, it's not. Because I've done my research looking at just in my family as far as the women being married throughout the generations as early as the early 1900s. Because I know my grandmother would have been, she was born in like 1917. Her mother got married when she married off when she was 16. So this is nothing like just happening in other countries. It's happening all over. And upon my research, even other countries, like, they marry children. Like here here everywhere, and even in America, they shadow ban one of my videos because it's the youngest child to have gotten married, I think, was in Kentucky. And it was a 5-year-old. And this is like done secretly all over. Children are getting married. Like, why is it such a big deal? I just don't get how fake. People just need to stop the shit. They are so fake. They are claiming that he is a pedophile for saying that the healthiest womb is between a 16 and 19-year-old. But that's what they believe. They believe this stuff, but they wanna deflect and blame somebody when these people really think this. It's a lot of people that think that, but they're not gonna come out and say that. But I think he's an asshole, and I think he says a lot of what is it? I think he's very male chauvinistic. I think he's very like he'll tell you he has issues with, he's had issues. Most of the men that have issues with their mothers or a woman at a young age that has hurt them, and depending on their placements, even if they don't have the placements, they have problems dealing with women. I mean, they really have a lot of issues with women as they grow up. When they have been hurt by a woman, whether it's a mother figure, a grandmother, or guardian, they really have problems dealing with women. And I'm not even saying he's like abusive physically, because I honestly don't think that he's an abusive man physically. But I have heard how he verbally is abuse, But I'm not trying to demonize him. And I'm not trying to defend him either. Hi, everybody. Hey, I said hi to you too, Peter. But I'm not trying to defend him. Ooh, I like those okay, I like those expressions in me. Okay, I like that. So I'm not trying to demonize him for saying that, because I don't get how people can actually say he's a pedophile for saying that the women that are 16 to 19 have the most healthiest babies, when that's exactly what they believe. Actually, they believe that children younger are probably have healthier wombs. So I'm not even agreeing with what he said. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that people are full of it because they like children. They like children. So for him to say that, it's just what they really think. Like, to me, the way these people do children, I think that 16 to 19 is good, because at least they got a little time to get up. But I don't even think that's right, even though I was married as a teenager and I had children, in that time frame. But I don't think that was good, but it's nothing new. And I wasn't like married off or betrothed off or anything like that. I was trying to be, I guess I was really trying to get some help and get away from home. Hell yeah, get away from crazy parents. That's what I was doing. I was trying to get away from crazy parents. So I was like, well, I might as well get married, and I got a partner in crime to help me get the hell away. And I stayed for a long time, but I was trying to get out of town. I didn't want to do it alone. Favorite seat on the couch. Okay. So yeah, I was trying to get out of the house, get away from my crazy religious fanatical Pentecostal holiness parent, and it kind of worked out. And I didn't get as far. I got farther away by myself, but I guess I got a little bit of help and a little bit of escape or whatever. But when you trying to escape something, you sometimes you run into I ain't gonna say a worse situation, but it's not good. It's not good to try to run from something. It's best to try to figure it out and heal. As you getting out of stuff, you want to heal, because you'll take those traumas with you, and you'll take yourself with you. So it's, even though it's good to escape something and get away from it, it's good to be working on healing in the process, so you won't carry that trauma and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm getting back to they're calling Corey Holcomb a pedophile for saying that the healthiest wounds are between 16 and 19. But that's what they believe, and even children even younger. It's no way they don't believe that, because I know, like, it was kids getting, like, and I'm not gonna say these might have been by guys the same age or whatever as them, but the youngest person I known to get pregnant was a 10-year-old, and I thought that was devastating when I was a kid. I thought that was like devastating, but now people are not having babies like they were having babies, but it was normal for teenagers. That's where most of these babies came from. Most of the generation, most of the millennials came from teenagers. A lot of the millennials and the Gen Z came from like young people, not even 20. It was normal for teenagers to be pregnant. Hell, it was normal for teenagers to be married. Like in the old days, they were marrying them off at like probably younger than 16. But I know my mother got married at 16, so that's why I don't understand why they calling him a pedophile for him saying that, because that's what a lot of them believe. I mean, come on, it's been a lot of times where the older guys have gotten with these younger girls. Like, it was normal back in the day for those guys to date teenagers. Those guys like on up into their like 30s and stuff. To date girls, it's like 16 and 17. Now, I don't know about 14, but I'm sure that was going on too. Think about it. I mean, it wasn't like a big deal, because most of the girls didn't like guys in their age group. They wanted a guy with a car or somebody older. So it was not unusual for a 16-year-old to be dating a 25 something. I mean, that was not unusual. They make it seem like today this is like the worst thing in the world, but I mean, what, did they change up the laws or something like that? Because even though it was illegal, that was going on back in the day. It was going. Nobody that was like 16 wanted to date somebody else that was 16 or 17. Most of the 16-year-olds back then wanted to date somebody older, and that was normal. So I don't know, like, and he's like in his 50s, so he's like 50 something, right? I think that guy's like up in his 50s, and that's not old, but I think he's like 55, 56. That's the era he grew up in during those times of, what's the guy name? Hugh Hefner and them. That Hugh Hefner go back to before the 90s. He'd been around. He's down with Bill Cosby and all. He was hanging with Bill. That's way before. But I'm talking about during those times of Jay-Z and all them guys in that group and those other guys. Even the what is that? Jerry Lee Lewis. He married his 13-year-old cousin. But that was way back in the day. But I'm saying even the other cultures, the white guys were dating younger. They were dating young teenagers too. And they were up in that. This was not just like one culture. They all were dating like women that were like young in their teens, and these men was up in their 20s, up 25 and 30 something, dating younger girl. Like all of a sudden now, it's pedophile, but it wasn't that back then. Well, nobody gonna really going to jail for dating no teenagers, and they was up in their 20s and 30s. When? You tell me when. Now, if somebody like mess with somebody in the household, sometimes they look the other way with that. It was a lot of essay going on within the families and all that too, and incest and all kind of mess. But I'm saying nobody went to jail for dating teenagers back in some of those days. And what, this is new. All this stuff is new now. Like people trying to prosecute people for. Every now and then you see somebody go away. I remember this situation where this man was with this lady, and he was like a man that was probably like 30 or 40. He was messing with the lady daughters, and he went away. They sent him on up the hill. They sent him away because he was with the lady, but he was messing with all her daughters. She had like 5 daughters. That's why you got to be careful. And I just seen a case. I seen a case where I'm at where this man was messing with a 2-year-old, and he was trying to sell it on. This is a popular content creator. Was messing with a 2-year-old and was trying, and the mother was going through his phone, and she saw it, and she had enough sense to call the sheriff. I guess she pretended like she was just gonna go to bed and won't, because some women don't know how to protect themselves. You never tell a man, I'm leaving you and I'm about to go and you can kiss my what. You never do that. That's why a lot of them now is pushing up daisies. What my grandmama used to say, pushing up daisies and 6 feet deep. You never tell somebody you leaving. Oh, I'm leaving you. I'm done. I'm not. You leave when you see a safe space for you to leave. That's how you live to see another day. All that fussing and talking and telling a person, especially when they think they're going to go to jail, or they think it's the end, or they done lost their job, or they're addicted and don't have nothing to live for, and you're gonna just tell them you're gonna leave. You can't do that. You have to have a self-preservation mindset. You can't let your emotions, like that little girl. It was a little girl that could have maybe lived, but I think it was either a FedEx driver or some kind of delivery person. He hit her by mistake, but it didn't hit her to the point where it maimed her. She could walk away, but let me tell you what the little girl told the delivery person. The little girl, she didn't know no better, but you got to teach your kids, to have some common sense too. That little girl told the driver, I'm going to go tell my dad. I'm telling my daddy what she should have did. And I got little people in my family, and they smooth, they smart. They not even 5, and they know how to survive. I don't know, because they been here. These kids, they've been here before. Instead of her saying like, okay, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm gone, I'm fine. That little girl told that man, she said, oh, I'm gonna tell my daddy that you hit me. This is the delivery person. He tapped her a little bit. He tapped her. She was able to walk. He just tapped her because he didn't see it. What happened is, yeah, it was his fault, but he tried to deliver the package or something. When he got back in the delivery truck, he couldn't see. She went around the back of the truck out there playing now. I don't even think she was supposed to be outside. I think she just slipped out. They didn't even know she was outside. Her little ass. She outside running around the back of the truck. He didn't see her. He tapped her. He stopped. She might have been shook up, but she could walk now. She could carry her ass in the house. She was still alive. This little girl, that's why you got to be careful and teach your kids, do not be arguing with people. Don't be arguing. You don't know what's on a person's mind. She told him, I'm going to tell my daddy that you hit me with your delivery truck. Now, this little girl could walk in the house. She could walk. He snatched that little girl up and put her in his truck and took her somewhere and took her life and threw her in the field or something. He did something. It took them a little while to find her. Let me tell you, you know why he did it? Because he was crazy, and that was he didn't have nothing to lose. That was the only job. It took him forever to get that job. He was already on probation or some shit, and the man won't right in the head. That's why you have to teach your kids to be careful how they be talking to people, cause you never know what people got to lose and what's on their minds. Can't be talking in the kids can't be talking any kind of way to people. So what I'm saying that to say is uh I'm talking about Corey Holcomb and the fact of he said that the healthiest womb is between 16 and 19. What do y'all think? Do y'all think what I mean, I know y'all if y'all thinking y'all scared to say it, but come on now. I don't agree with what he said, but most of these people been messing with younger teenagers. They think that's normal. Now it's getting to the point where they really cracking down on all of that, and they going back looking at the stuff people did and looking at how they were predators and stuff like that. But it was normal back in the day for a teenager to date somebody like 25 or 30 or something like a 16, 17, 19-year old. It was normal for them to be dating a 25-year-old or somebody maybe closer to 30. Now you talking about somebody up in their 40s or on up in the late under 30s. That's we looking a little weird then, but I mean it was not unusual. So and I was saying the kids you got to be careful. The children talking any kind of way to these people, the children, now they don't have, I guess these kids now, like these old people the older people gotta earn the respect. But you'll see a child talking real greasy to a person, a older person, and I'd be like, listen, you a little person, you got to be careful because you never know what's on these people's minds. Then I worked with this little girl. She was like probably like 16. She had jumped in a fight in between an adult, a big man, and I guess he was beating up a woman or something. Don't you know she jumped in between that fight and that man started beating on her. We had to teach her how to talk, walk, eat, use the bathroom, all of that, all over again. He beat that little girl down to being a baby. She couldn't do nothing. She had to learn how to do everything all over again, like she was just being born. Yep, that's why I be like, teach your children common sense. Teach your children, self-preservation, that they can't, you can either talk your way into something or you can talk your way out of something. It's been times where people was in cars with actually murderers and stuff, and then they have carried themselves and talk. Sometimes it don't matter because some of these people just determined to take these people out. But it's been cases where these people survive because of how they, use psychology and their words and stuff like that, and knowing how to mediate and different things. So, yeah, words are very powerful. But yeah, I just looked over the history of like what's happened even in my family as far as the matriarch and how young these women were married off at 16. Some maybe even younger. I don't know, but I know I did go as far back as to seeing like in the early 1900s how they were married at like at least 16, and then the youngest marriage in over in the US was like in Kentucky was a 5-year-old. And then in other countries, they still be trying to marry children that's as young as 9 years old. These old, dirty, dirty dick men be trying to marry these kids, and it's all over. And now, you see with the Epstein's files, the elites and all this stuff. And then I looked at the Epstein documentary. I knew this stuff years ago. I looked at the documentary of those girls that were persuaded to go out for modeling job. Those young girls, young innocent girls, and the torture that they went through when they went to the island via Ghislaine Maxwell, and how he would tell them that they got modeling jobs and lure them out and all this and that. And then when they get there, oh my God, they would just be assaulted. And I looked at the documentary. It was so sad. It's sad that has went on, a lot. Not just with him. I mean, it's been happening, and it's terrible, and it has to stop, But that's what a lot of them make. That's been the new money for a long time, like human trafficking, and what is it, sacrifice and all that. That's what they have to do, I guess, to appease their deities and stuff like that. You know, I don't know. They say that before the floods, it was like a few floods. That's what they was doing, and that's what a lot of the spiritual battle and physical battle was about. The people that didn't want to do that, and the people that wanted to continue on sacrificing children and all that human trafficking and all that stuff. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's another world. I mean, they look at us as cattle. You know, they look at us as the little people, the cattle. What they call it, the golem. Shit. So um, and they think that that's all we are as people, as cattle, and we're servants and stuff. We're here to serve their needs and stuff, and they really help their people out. That's why I'm like, we all need to pull together and try to get past these little differences, whether skin color. Nah, that should not be an issue in 2026, but I guess it goes deep because some people really think that matter. And really and truly, when you look at the top of the pyramid, those bloodlines are all different colors. They are all different. And that's so smart how they do that. I said it must be a genius in the background because they got to fit. They fool us with this divide and conquer stuff, but they're all family. And they're all different colors. Like just even putting up that picture of Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. Barack is their family. We look at it like, oh, that's a black man that was president. It's been more than black presidents than we care to name. Some of those people just be passing. Some of those people just be passing, but at the same time, they're all family. They're all some kin. We just don't know the game. See, we down here not no more because a lot of people been woke up and are waking up. But see, for a long time, we've been under a spell and we've been asleep as humans and mankind and whatever. Because I don't think it's just one species on this planet, and I don't think that I don't think that everybody's just because there's more than one. I don't think that everybody's bad or good. I don't think there's all bad people because they don't just because we different don't or different different species don't mean that's my enemy or whatever. Like some things we don't know, some things we don't understand, but it doesn't make me say, well, you know, I'm the chosen, I'm special, I'm better than it. Okay, yeah. Could be original people and the people that was already here, but at the same time, I mean, damn. It's all in what you do with what you've been given. You know what I'm saying? The choices that you make. Like, choose ye this day. You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do with the information you've been given? What are you gonna do with the knowledge that you know? Like, what are you gonna do with it? What are you choosing? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you choosing to be in your ego, or are you just gonna be like brainwashed and indoctrinated with the bullshit and just keep right on going with the program that's not even a real program? Like, aren't you gonna try to aren't you gonna try I mean, I used to believe some crazy stuff, like, cause I was like indoctrinated into religion. Like, I grew up in a very I didn't even. I grew up like on a. Good thing I traveled though. I'm grateful that I did travel. But if I didn't travel, oh man, I would be like them kids on Placerville almost, because I grew up like sort of like separated and stuff, which is kind of good some, but you gotta know what's going on, and I'm glad that I know what's going on. Like, I'm glad that I wasn't that isolated, that I didn't know. I'm surprised I was even that able to go to school. I'm surprised because I do homeschool and I do, you know, schooling online. I teach online a little bit, but I'm surprised I was even in. I didn't want to go to school. I wanted to be homeschooled though. I homeschooled myself. I actually got tired of school. I tried private school. I went to Christian school and I went to public school, and I hated it all. I didn't like none of it. So what I did was I homeschooled myself. I got tired of the bullshit. So I would get my work and just do it from home. And the teacher would be like, she would tell the students, she don't even come to school and she made better grades than y'all do. I wasn't going through it. I thought it was a crock of shit. Cause those kids, I mean, it was all some, I just thought it was weird. The first day in, it just was, something was wrong. I just, I just knew. And they always wanted me to go, they had me, like Brother Asir talk about the gate program. So at first, when I first started, they tried to say like I was, what, stupid or something, or slow. How can you tell if a child is slow when they in kindergarten? So they was on my ass from day one. And I also got a different name. My name is not even, my name is like a name that really put spotlight on me, because it's not, it's a Eastern, it's not even a name, it's an Eastern ancient name. So that was the signal. My name sounds like, it sounds like if I tell you what it sounds like, then I would be saying it. So I'm not gonna say it, but it sounds like something that's very ancient that would be like, oh, okay, this is a different child. So they tried to say I was, I guess, needed to be in the beat lab, but then when they tested me, they realized guess I wasn't like something like a genius. So once they tested me, I guess I was taking the test, the CIA, they always like testing you, the MK Ultra test and all that. So once I tested, they found out, oh, I didn't need to be in the beep lab, or I wasn't a dumbass kid. So then they put me in all these gifted programs. I was like, okay, the gate. So yeah, and then they started trying to get me to be like, they was like, oh, you scored so high on your test until we want to take you off to these different like schools. They wanted me to go into the scholarship when I was in the real early in school. They wanted me to go into a program to teach science or whatever. And I thought that was weird, because I'm like, I'm not even in I don't even think I was in the 8th grade. And they was trying to get us to go to the colleges and stuff, which I was glad to get out of school and go to the college and eat that food they cater. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, I worked in the school system and stuff, and I've volunteered and taught and stuff like that, but that's a bunch of crap. That's a bunch of indoctrinated bullshit too, that school system. I mean, they're not teaching you nothing but something to keep you as a slave anyway. Like, why you gotta go to school for 12 years? By the time you go to school for 12 years, hell, you should be a damn doctor or something. I mean, you should be able to get out and run your own business or something. You shouldn't be working at McDonald's and making minimum wage after you done sat somewhere for 12 years. That's stupid. They don't even make no damn. That's a waste of time. What I gotta learn that long for to get out and be at the bottom and still gotta go to school? And I did that dumb shit. I got out and still went to college. No, I didn't just. I went to a fucking. I was going to college. I was going to college and doing training programs. It's too much fucking school. So I was doing all that, and it's shit. It's just a bunch of shit and debt and all that. Like, I did it, but it's just too much. It's too much to go to school for 12 years. Then you gotta get out, and then you gotta go back to school. Then you gotta keep on. And then if you don't have families that have companies and connections, or you're not in these societies, when I first got out, I did get decent jobs, but I had to work my way from the bottom. Even in the fields I was in and stuff, which I majored in like different stuff, and I had the trades, but I had to work my ass off. I had to work from the bottom. When I first started, I wasn't making any money, but I had to work my way up, and then that's how it go. And then you get favoritism with people, people, and people like you, and in that old system. you're not gonna get in that old system. You wasn't gonna get too far unless you was selling out or in with the right people, and everything is gatekeeping. You know what I'm saying? In all sectors, it's all gatekeeping. People be like the celebrities be selling out. People be selling out for minimum wage. I done seen it. They sell out for less, so you can't talk about the celebrities selling out. People sell out on these jobs for way less, honey. For that job security to be able to pay them bills. They do a lot. Yeah. But yeah, I don't get why they calling Corey Holcomb a pedophile when it's normal for the married children in this society. 16 is old, hell. From what I researched and found, 16 is old, 19 is old. And that's still a child. In my opinion, that's still a freaking child. That's still a child. Because our brain doesn't fully develop until around 30 something. And that depends on other circumstances as far as childhood trauma. That depends on disease and health and the mental state of people. Because, some people walking around here 50 and 60 and 70, 80 years old, and their mind still ain't fully developed. They got the mind of a damn child, and they old as hell. And I think age is only a number. I'm just saying, like, you got older people that's like 50, 60, 70, and 80, and they still have minds like children. I don't know how they survive. They got some good ancestors looking out for them that really love them. Because I don't know how they made it this far. With the mind of a child, and they own up in age like that, they never fully develop where they can have cognitive dissonance and be able to have comprehension and have common sense. They don't have common sense. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to respond. They don't know about their own safety. I'm like, how are you still alive? And you don't even know how to communicate to people. You don't know how to move. Like, how are you what how do you make it this far? You put yourself in so much danger. But they make it. They hear somebody love them. But I'm like, I can't. I just no. It's not my cup of tea. But hey, like I said, their ancestors must really love these people, because a lot of people like that out here. So your brain doesn't fully develop till around 30. So a 16-year-old, I don't think is grown, fully grown. A 19-year-old is not either. Neither is a 20-some-year-old. That's why I think it's a trap for them to make it illegal. They make it illegal for a lot of these kids get put out at 16 and 18 though. A lot of these kids, like these women, these mothers, they put their kids out, and it be the boys and the girls. But sometimes if the girl is like the mother think the daughter is competition, and she got a man at the house, or something like that, they'll let the girls go. They'll let the girls go easy. I'm not saying the boys got it made, because the boys be going, when they get older, they be all messed up. Because the men are, in my opinion, I think they're more sensitive a lot of times than the women are. And that trauma really messes with them. So, I'm just saying, like, you got parents that turn up and change up on their children when they're, like, still children. So, they got to survive and take care of themselves and as teenagers. So, they got to get out here and make it do what it do. And that's dangerous as being a child. And you got to get out here and be an adult. And you didn't get, you missed out on those years, those teenage years, or the years that they were supposed to be able to be, go to their proms and enjoy their high school students and friends and just enjoy that time. And they wasn't able to do that. They had to be an adult. So maybe that's why sometimes they are still have the mind of a child, because they missed something. Yeah, well, I just wanted to talk about the situation with the Holcomb, Corey Holcomb, and how they're telling him that he's a pedophile. But it's very normal for people to like to have relations and stuff, and want to marry children. And I say children is 16 too. It's very normal in my observation and research. Even like I said, on back when my grandmother mother was a 16-year-old getting married. And even I got married as a teen. Yeah. So, and I had a child, I had children as not as no 12 or 13 or 14-year-old, but hell, I won't be in the teenager get married. I won't far from it. So, I just don't understand why it's such a people are so fake when it comes to that type of stuff. They're not out here protecting children. They're not making sure that the children are not preyed upon. They're not making sure that their teenagers are protected. A lot of the times when these kids get kicked out and stuff like that, even the boys, they put in situations where they might gotta because they don't have what 16, 17, 18, 19 year old got any wealth unless they're a nepo baby or their family got a lot of money. But most of the ones that's getting kicked out, families are stupid, so they don't have no money. They kicking these kids out, and they gotta go probably do stuff to put themselves in jeopardy to make it, and that's how they get trafficked and all that kind of stuff too. Being out here without money, without support, and you young like that, somebody that's easy prey, easy fish. Yeah. So we have to be careful with judging people and ready to counsel people and call them pedophiles when what they talking about is how a lot of the people the mindset is, but they're not gonna come out and say it. I mean, he's like 56. Back then they were dating 16-year-olds when they were up in their 20s. That was normal and it wasn't illegal. I seen it happening all the time. Matter of fact, I think my husband was like 7 years, maybe 5 or 7 years older than me. So, hey, like I said, people have a double standard. They have their favorites and picks, and some people get passes. But we all need to stop the cap, because it's very normal for people back in the day to think that 16 was an age to get married. And this has been MaSunGoddess777, and I will be uploading this. So y'all have a wonderful evening, and I am out. And go, don't forget to ground and heal and let things go. And love yourself. And you are your hero. You are your savior. It's all within.